नमस्कार। श्री रामकृष्ण कथामृत तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदादतं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः। श्री रामकृष्ण कथामृतो प्रथम भाग प्रथम खंडो दशम परिच्छेद, the 10th chapter, in continuation with Sri M's fourth visit, where Sri M for the second time has seen Sri Ramakrishna in Samadhi. And we have seen that Sri M has started the 10th chapter with the shlok from that adhyay of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, after Arjuna has seen the universal form of Sri Krishna, Vishwarupa Darshan. And after seeing that form, that Vishwarup of Sri Krishna, Arjuna has said, "Thou verily are the imperishable, you are indestructible, indivisible. You are the protector of the Sanatana Dharma. And you are the only one to be sought of. You are that ancient Purusha. Purusha element of the Brahman. I am convinced of it. Mato me, it is my firm belief, it is my firm conviction. Oh, my dear friend Sri Krishna, you are that ultimate one, the imperishable, the indestructible, the indivisible, only one. And having seen Sri Ramakrishna in that samadhi, motionless, his body is so still, not moving at all. The eyes are not blinking. They're all just at one gaze. There is no breath. He cannot make out whether he is breathing or not. And that kind of motionless, that sweet smile on his face, and towards the end, tears getting shed from the corners of his eyes, and Sri Ramakrishna coming out of that samadhi, uttering Ram, Ram. And once again, in that playful mood, once he has come to the normal plane, Sri Ramakrishna again is in that playful mood with these boys, with children of 18, 19-year-old youngsters. Behaving like a boy, child of 5 years, so innocent. No, nothing to hide in his heart, all open, so innocent, so transparent, all joy and happiness. And then after the meeting has got over, all the people have dispersed. Most of the devotees, they have gone to their home. Sri M. Noreen has taken up a small pitcher and gone to the Hanshapukur to wash his face and all. Sri M also has gone out strolling around in the nearby places of the temple complex. And then as he is coming back towards Sri Ramakrishna's room, he sees Sri Ramakrishna standing there on the platform of the steps that the steps that go to Hanshapukur, and Noreen also, having washed his face and mouth and come, standing there on the platform of those steps, and Sri Ramakrishna telling him, "You must come frequently, you must come very often." Like this is the first, just you have just started coming to me, you have just started getting to know me. Like the newly wed husband, you must come to me frequently. And Sri M and Noreen, they both laugh at these words of Sri Ramakrishna. And while coming back, Sri Ramakrishna, as they are coming back from that Hansapukur to Thakur's room near the Kothi, Sri Ramakrishna tells Sri M, "You know what kind of boy this fellow Noreen is? In the village, when the peasants go to the hart, to the market to buy bullocks, they have a knack of judging whether the bullock is a sharp fellow or a dull fellow. whether he will be doing he will be able to do some good work, good amount of work, or he is a sluggish, lethargic fellow. What they do, they just touch the base of the tail of that bull, and the bull which is not sharp, the bull which is dull, he will just lie down there, no movement. But the bull which is sharp, which is intelligent, which is hardworking, immediately that bull will spring up. The moment you touch its tail, the base of the tail, Thakur says, Naren falls in that category. And then Thakur also says, there are some people, they are like that puffed rice soaked in milk. No metal. They don't have any stuff in them. You put the puffed rice in your mouth, you have to bite it, you have to make efforts. But the puffed rice soaked in milk, it doesn't have any grit, it doesn't have any metal, it doesn't have any stuff. You just you can just swallow it. There is no energy, there is no grit, there is no metal. So Sri Thakur has told about it, and then Thakur also advised Sri M, you better go and talk to Naren. See what sort of boy he is and come and tell me. What is your opinion about Naren? Thakur has already given his opinion. There is no one in the world like Naren. That's it. Thakur has also given the instance, explained of Naren being the ever-free soul. That people like Naren, the boys like Naren, are ever free. They can never get caught in the net of a fisherman of Maya. They are always free from Kamini Kanchan. So Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna has told him, you talk to Naren, find out what sort of boy he is and tell me. And Naren, as he goes towards temple for the arti and everything, then he finds Naren and they start their casual talk. Naren telling him that he belongs to Brahmo Samaj, Sadharan Brahmo Samaj, he's studying in college, and the usual talk, casual talk they have had. Now let us see what has happened after that. রাত হইয়াছে, মাস্টার এইবার বিদায় গ্রহণ করিবেন, কিন্তু যাইতে আর পারিতেছেন না, তাই নরেন্দ্রের নিকট হইতে চলিয়া আসিয়া ঠাকুর শ্রী রামকৃষ্ণকে খুঁজিতে লাগিলেন। তাহার গান শুনিয়া হৃদয়ে মন মুগ্ধ হইয়াছে। তাহার গান শুনিয়া হৃদয়ে মন মুগ্ধ হইয়াছে, বড় সাধ যে আবার তার শ্রীমুখে গান শুনিতে পণ। খুঁজিতে খুঁজিতে দেখলেন মা কালীর মন্দিরের সম্মুখে নাট মন্দিরে মধ্যে একাকী ঠাকুর পাদচারণ করিতেছেন। মার মন্দিরে মার দুই পার্শ্বে আলো জ্বলিতেছে। বৃহৎ নাট মন্দিরে একটি আলো জ্বলিতেছে, ক্ষীণ আলো। আলো ও অন্ধকার মিশ্রিত হইলে যে রূপ হয়, সেই রূপ নাট মন্দিরে দেখাইতেছিল। মাস্টার ঠাকুরের গান শুনিয়া আত্মহরা হইয়াছেন, যেন মন্ত্রমুগ্ধ স্বরূপ। এক্ষণে সংকুচিত ভাবে ঠাকুরকে জিজ্ঞাসা করিলেন, আজ আর কি গান হবে? ঠাকুর চিন্তা করিয়া বলিলেন, না, আজ আর গান হবে না। এই বলিয়া কি যেন মনে পড়িল, অমনই বলিলেন, তবে এক কর্ম করো, আমি বলরামের বাড়ি কালিকাতা যাব, তুমি যেও, সেখানে গান হবে। মাস্টার, যে আজ্ঞা। শ্রী রামকৃষ্ণ, তুমি জানো বলরাম বসু? মাস্টার, আজ্ঞা না। শ্রী রামকৃষ্ণ, বলরাম বসু বোসপাড়ায় বাড়ি। মাস্টার, যে আজ্ঞা, আমি জিজ্ঞাসা করব। শ্রী রামকৃষ্ণ মাস্টারের সঙ্গে নাট মন্দিরে বেড়াইতে বেড়াইতে। শ্রী রামকৃষ্ণ, আচ্ছা, তোমায় একটা কথা জিজ্ঞাসা করি, আমাকে তোমার কি বোধ হয়? মাস্টার চুপ করিয়া আছেন। ঠাকুর আবার বলিতেছেন, তোমার কি বোধ হয়ে? আমার কই আনা জ্ঞান হয়েছে। মাস্টার, আনা এ কথা বুঝতে পারছি না, তবে এরূপ গান ও বা প্রেম ভক্তি বা বিশ্বাস বা বৈরাগ্য বা উদার ভাব কখনো কোথাও দেখি নাই। ঠাকুর শ্রী রামকৃষ্ণ হাসিতে লাগিলেন। Now, this is a beautiful passage that Sri M, having talked with Noreen, their talk is over. It is night now, and now Master actually wants to leave. He thinks of leaving, but his mind doesn't allow him to leave the place. তাই নরেন্দ্রের নিকট হইতে চলিয়া আসিয়া ঠাকুর শ্রী রামকৃষ্ণকে খুঁজিতে লাগিলেন। After having said goodbye to Noreen, he started looking for Sri Ramakrishna. He started looking for, where is Thakur? Where is Sri Ramakrishna? তাহার গান শুনিয়া হৃদয় মন মুগ্ধ হইয়াছে, having listened to his song of Hanuman singing to Mandodari. No fruit, the fruits that you are giving me are of no value. The fruit that I will get from that wish fulfilling tree which is in my heart, Sri Ram. Sri M had heard that song from Sri Ramakrishna, and then Sri Ramakrishna had entered Samadhi. So, tahar gan shuniya, hruday mon, his heart, he was so feeling blessed after hearing that song from Sri Ramakrishna. Bodo shad je abar tar Srimukhe gan shunte par. He was longing to once again listen to Sri Ramakrishna's song. This was the second or third song that he had heard from Sri Ramakrishna. Third song. The earlier one was Naren who had sung. Chintoy mama manas, chintono mama manas. So he longed to listen to Sri Ramakrishna's song. And he once again started looking for him. Where is Sri Ramakrishna? Where is Sri Ramakrishna? And then suddenly he saw that মা কালীর মন্দিরের সম্মুখে নাট মন্দির মধ্যে একাকী ঠাকুর পাদচারণ করিতেছেন। The Nat Mandir, the hall, that big hall which is in front of Mother Kali's temple, Sri Thakur was all alone, just walking in that Nat Mandir. মার মন্দিরে মার দুই পার্শ্বে আলো জ্বলিতেছে। Now just visualize, there is Ma Bhavatarani Kali temple. On both the sides of Ma, two lamps are burning. And in front of Ma Kali's temple, Bruhat Nat Mandire, in front of Mother Kali's temple is this Nat Mandir. What is happening there in the Nath Mandir? Ekti alo joliteche, one lamp, two lamps besides Ma Kali in Ma Kali's temple, and in front of Ma Kali's temple, the Nath Mandir, one lamp is burning. Ksheen alok, not very bright, just a dim lamp is burning in Nath Mandir. আলো ও অন্ধকার মিশ্রিত হইলে যে রূপ হয়, a mixture, something like a twilight, something like the lights that we see during the twilight. Light is also there, darkness is also there. The mixture of that kind of light was there in the Nath Mandir, and Sri Ramakrishna walking in that Nath Mandir all alone, in his own thoughts, in his own world, in front of his beloved Ma. That is the scene, that is the sight Sri M saw. Master ঠাকুরের গান শুনিয়া আত্মহারা হইতেছেন. He was restless to listen to the song of Sri Ramakrishna. Master was so restless, Vyakul he was, Atmahara. His heart, his soul was yearning to listen to Sri Ramakrishna's song. Jeno mantro mugdho sarpo, as if the snake which is charmed by the mantra of the snake charmer. The snake charmer, what he does? He utters the mantra, and the snake, the ferocious snake, not that snake of the story of Brahmachari, the meek, and the ferocious snake, who, under the spell of the charm of that mantra uttered by snake charmer, how docile he becomes. How devoted he becomes. Likewise, Sri M is under the spell of Sri Ramakrishna's songs, longing to hear that song again and again and again. এক্ষণে সংকুচিত ভাবে ঠাকুরকে জিজ্ঞাসা করিলেন. Now, with a very soft this thing, Sri M asks Sri Ramakrishna, very humbly, very politely, will aaj aar ki gaan hobe? Today will there be any more singing? See the attraction of Sri M towards Sri Ramakrishna's singing the songs. Sri M, very politely, very humbly, he asks Sri Ramakrishna, who is walking all alone in the Nath Mandir. He asks, will there be any more singing today? Thakur chinta kuriya bolilen. Thakur thought for a while, because Thakur was actually in a different mood. He was just pacing up and down in front of his beloved mother. Suddenly, this fellow M comes and asks, will there be any more singing today? Thakur just thought for a while. He got himself tuned to the present moment of the question of Sri M, and then answered, Na, aaj aar gaan hobe na. No, my child, today there won't be any more singing. And then what happened? Ei boliya ki jeno mone podilo omne bolilen. Just having said this, no, there won't be any further singing today. Something came to his mind. He remembered something, and then he said, Omnoi bolilen again. He said, Tobe ek kormo koro, but do one thing. Ami Boloramer bari Kolkotai jabo. I will be going to Balram's house in Calcutta. Tumi jio. সেখানে গান হবে. You come there. There will be lot of singing at Balram's house. And then master says, Je aagya. Okay, sir, whatever you say. And then Sri Ramakrishna asks, Tumi jano Balaram Basu? Master, Agya, na. Sri Ramakrishna asks, do you know him? Balaram Basu. Now, Thakur is introducing Sri Am to another of his intimate disciples. Naren he has met. Bhavnath he had some introduction. But Naren he met more closely. He had a talk with Naren. And now Sri Ramakrishna wanted M to meet Balaram Basu also. And he told him that at his house there will be singing. You come there. Do you know him? Then he says, no. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, Balaram Basu Boshpadai Badi. His house is in the Boshpada, Balaram Basu. You come there. Master says, যে আজ্ঞা আমি জিজ্ঞাসা করব. Master says, okay, I will find out his house in Bospara. Sri Ramakrishna মাস্টারের সঙ্গে নাট মন্দিরে বেড়াইতে বেড়াইতে. Now, M has also started walking, to and fro with Sri Ramakrishna in that Nat Mandir. Sri Ramakrishna, that is his typical routine. In front of my mother, the child is walking to and fro. So M also joins Sri Ramakrishna, and both of them, they are strolling in the Nat Mandir. And while doing, Sri Ramakrishna suddenly asks him, মাস্টারের সঙ্গে নাট মন্দিরে বেড়াইতে বেড়াইতে. Oh, they are standing in the Nat Mandir and just taking stroll. She suddenly asks, আচ্ছা তোমায় একটা কথা জিজ্ঞাসা করি, আমাকে তোমার কি বোধ হয়? Now Thakur wants to know how much his beloved child Mohendranath Gupta has understood him. So Sri Ramakrishna asks Master, tell me one thing. I want to ask you one thing. Amake tomar ki bodh hoy? What do you think of me? This is the fourth visit of Sri M to Ramakrishna. And now Sri Ramakrishna asks him, Amake tomar ki bodh hoy? What do you think of me? Now M Master chup koriya achen. Master remains silent. Thakur abar bolitechen. Again Thakur asks him, pins him, তোমার কি বোধ হয়? আমার কয়ো আনা জ্ঞান হয়েছে? What do you feel? What do you think of me? How many annas of knowledge I have? You see, in those days, the currency was in terms of pai, anna, rupiah. 6 pies was 1 anna and 16 annas was 1 rupee. So theoretically it was 96 paise making 1 rupee. 16 6 are 96. But it was 100 paise for that matter. Now it is 100 paise. So 6 pai was 1 anna, 16 annas was 1 rupee. And now in that currency terms, Thakur is asking Sri M, what do you think? How many annas of knowledge I have? Thakur of course had 16 annas of knowledge, 16 annas of devotion, more than 16 annas of love and devotion and knowledge Thakur had. So Thakur asked him, what do you think? How many annas of knowledge I have? Sri M replies, hmm, আনা এ কথা বুঝতে পারছি না. I don't understand the language, the terms of ana. How many anas of knowledge you have? But hmm, তবে এরূপ গান বা প্রেম ভক্তি বা বিশ্বাস বা বৈরাগ্য বা উদার ভাব কখনো কোথাও দেখি নই. I don't know what you are asking me about how many annas of knowledge you have, but one thing I can tell you. Now, M also, M is after all Thakur's child. He has understood him. He says, I don't know about rupee ana pai that you are asking me how much knowledge you have in those terms. But I know one thing. That never have I seen such knowledge, such love for God, such faith, such dispassion, and such universality, udarta, such compassion I have never seen before. কখনো কোথাও দেখি নাই. I have never ever seen this kind of knowledge, this kind of love, this kind of faith, this kind of devotion, this kind of compassion, this kind of universality, accepting everything under the fold of this universe, under the fold of the Divine Mother, accepting everything as it is. Like he had said, that both formless and God with form are true. Such a, I mean, the statement Thakur had made was so much universal. It had the universality in that statement that Sri M said, I have never seen like this anywhere, anytime before. Thakur Sri Ramakrishna Hashite Lagilen. And listening to these words of Sri M, Sri Ramakrishna just smiled because he knew this fellow has started understanding who is this person, who is this Ramakrishna. This fellow has started understanding. He cannot reply in terms of how many annas of knowledge, but the child, the disciple of Sri Ramakrishna had replied to him that this kind of knowledge, this kind of love, this kind of faith, this kind of tolerance, this kind of universality, this kind of compassion, he had never ever seen anywhere. So let us meditate upon that form of Sri Ramakrishna. The most knowledge in its own sense, love in its own sense, dispassion in its own sense, depicting all these in one form of Sri Ramakrishna. The knowledge, love, dispassion, compassion, faith, devotion, belief, they are strongly being exhibited through Sri Ramakrishna. These qualities, these transcendental experiences, getting merged with the ultimate reality. Let us meditate on that form of Sri Ramakrishna, the ever smiling, ever loving Sri Ramakrishna. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishna. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swamiji.